What's going on, Go Gang? Welcome back. I got a little message for you today. It is time to go ghost. It's time to go ghost, bro. It's time to lock in. It's lock-in season, and it's time to disappear, man. Just vanish a little bit, bro. It's okay to go off the map. You know, this is something for me where I'm starting to realize. It's so crazy, bro. I'm realizing like something that's clicking for me a lot lately is I'm like a big like people pleaser. Like I have such a big problem with doing like people pleasing. Like I need to make sure that everybody else is good. Like, cause if everybody else isn't good, then I'm not good. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, is this person good? Is this person, are we doing this thing? And I realize it's a lot to do with like control issues. I'm kind of just like trauma dumping on you, I guess. But it's like a big control thing for me. But in the midst of everything, it's like I've been getting mixed up in so many other people's energy because I have been so big on like, man, I want everybody to just like me. I want everybody to just, like be in the same exact like path that I'm on. And I'm realizing like I cannot force it on anything. Like this walk with God that I want to go down, if people don't want to go down it, like I have to be okay with that, and something like super huge too, like for believers, is that the love we get from Jesus, the love we get from God. Oh my God, who's calling me, bro? The love we get from Jesus, the love we get from God is so powerful. It's like we remember who we were before we got saved, right? We remember the things that we were doing. We remember just how we were. We remember the position of our heart at that time. And then now, that we've accepted Jesus in our heart, now that we have God at the front of our mind, like we pick up our cross daily, we deny ourselves and we choose him every single day. Now it's like, man, like even through the trial and tribulation, I'm just so grateful to have this relationship, and my heart is just so full. It's like this emptiness that has always burdened me, like has always been an issue. I've always tried to fill it in with other things. Now it's filled in by the presence of God. It's like I heard something at a Bible study the other week, and it was everybody has like a God-shaped hole in them. It can only be filled in by his love. And it's so true, man. It's so true. Like I'm seeing it on people who don't have God in their lives. Like I just see it in like, you could just see it on people, like in their energy and everything. It's just, and I remember it like being kind of like in like that, like, I guess, place as well at a time. And I don't want to like, do not get me wrong, like I don't want to come off like in any way like I'm looking down on anybody, and please forgive me if that's how it sounds, but I'm just saying from the perspective, like I like having God's presence is just different, bro. Like being filled with the Holy Spirit and having Jesus in your life, like Jesus being the one that you chase after every day, is just, it's phenomenal. It's just different. And there's nothing more that we want as Christians for other people, other non-believers, especially the ones that we love, to just experience it too, to just feel it, to just be able to bask in his presence too, because we know what it does for us. Like we know how he's changed our lives, and we're just like, even through all the suffering and everything, like it's like we still have him to fall back on. And like I've been looking at it from a place too. It's like we're all suffering, like we're all in this thing alive together, and everybody suffers in their own way. Like everybody got their own things going on right now, everybody, right? But in the midst of it, it's like, at least as followers, like we get to like fall back on God. We get to throw all of our, things on God. We get to put our anxieties, our worries onto him. We get to talk to him. We have that relationship, and it's such a blessing. And I guess where I'm getting at with this is I went on like a little tangent there. It's just, we as followers want to just be able to give that presence so much. And for me, because I'm such a baby in like my walk, and I just been drinking spiritual milk like crazy, and I've just been so full, like my heart is on fire, it's almost like I've been holding the standard so high for myself that I feel like everybody else around me has to be along, like in it, like all the people that I love, and it's like, I'm already here, like with like my walk. And then now I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, come on guys, like come on. It's like I sprinted, like we all went on a hike, and it was like I sprinted like 100 yards in front of them. Like, and then I turned around. I'm like, yo, like what are you guys doing? Like, why aren't you guys up here? And so, I'm understanding, and I'm starting to realize, like, dang, like it's time to go ghost, and maybe not even just for like to protect my energy, but maybe to also protect other people's energy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we all subconsciously, like when we think of going ghost, right, we think about it for like doing it for ourselves, like first and foremost, like me, right? But have you ever taken the time to like think, like, what about like, dang, if like I'm on these things, like doing this and that, but like maybe like I'm too intense, or like maybe there's things that I got going on that like aren't benefiting somebody else, right? And I heard this thing on YouTube earlier, and it was talking about like especially when you're trying to do something specific in your life, and somebody, like other people are just they're not ready for that yet, you taking, like you staying in it and kind of, I guess, feeding into it and stuff, like you don't set an example that show, like you're basically saying that the things are okay, you know what I mean? And so when we go ghost, right, especially for followers, right, it's such a, dude, why am I getting so many alarms, bro? Like actually cringe. When we go ghost as followers, it's such a big, like, it's just such a big statement, to just be like, I just got to get focused on this and that, you know what I mean? But in the midst of all that, us removing our presence from certain environments, certain relationships, certain groups, right? It's huge. It's really big. And like we set that example. And I think it's just powerful, going ghost, and not in any way where it's like cutting people off or doing anything in specifics. It's just more so like, hey, like I can, like, I gotta get right for me. Right. Because I also, like, a thing I've been like struggling with is I'm trying to pour into people when I'm like empty. It's like, you can't pour into other people when you're like empty yourself, like spiritually and stuff. So it's like, yo, I need time for solitude, like, so that I can give more, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to help the people around me, like, a lot more. But if I myself am like bitter, if I myself am empty, how can I help? If anything, I'm hindering somebody else's growth because I'm trying to force a narrative, or I'm trying to do something specific, right? And they don't even want to hear it because the way that I'm coming off, So I think there's power in going ghost, and it doesn't ever have to like really be a bad thing, you know what I mean? And here's the thing that comes with it though too, like when you decide to really dive in and go in that mode where you're just like, you're focused, you're locked in, you're on your path, you're trying new things, you're doing things that you already know that you want to do, like you're locked in, you got your laser, like tunnel vision, there's going to be like people who either are going to see that and respect it. There's going to be people who either see that, and I guess, okay, wait, no, I'm getting it mixed up. Yeah, there's going to be people that see it and respect it, or there's going to be people that see it and they think that like you're weird. Like they think that you're like, you changed up and stuff, and in reality, you did change up because you wanted to do things differently for your life. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But in the midst of all this and stuff, like going ghost, it's a big statement, not only for the people around you, but for yourself. It's like when you got something that God has put in you, when you have something that you see that nobody else can see because God gave it to you, you know what I mean? And everybody has this, like everybody has something. Everybody has something, even people who don't believe in God, there's something that was placed in their mind that they know that they like want to work towards. Right. But, when you have that, like, and you're like set, like dead set on like, I'm locking in, like I'm going to do this, it requires you to really, protect your energy. And so in a season of solitude, in a season of really like being alone, in a season of just spending time with God, or a season of really just locking in, it's gonna ruffle some feathers, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. And you can't go about it in a way that like you're trying to people please. And I'm speaking aloud right now. Like maybe this is something that I need to hear. But maybe if it resonates with you too, it's just like, if there's something on your heart and your mind that that you're put here to do, there's something that like, if you just want change, if you don't want to be in the same position that you were, like that you're in now next year, like if you want things to be different, you have to be okay with taking that step and locking in on yourself. Because if you're constantly trying to pour into everybody else when you yourself don't have things like right, like where you feel like things are off, you're setting yourself up for failure, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's not selfish, really. I think it's selfless to give back to yourself, because you only have one life. You have one life to live. And in this one precious life that we're all given, would you not want to make the most out of it? Would you not want to do everything that you can to be the most successful and best version of yourself? Because in the midst of all that, right, when you are the best version of yourself, when you are the most successful version of yourself, that is where inspiration is created. That is where encouragement is created. When people around you, right, and this is another thing too, like you get to see whether people are for you or people are just a part of a season, like, because in these times, it's like people either are encouraged and it motivates them to want to get on board and they'll support you, or, envy, jealousy, and things will get in the way, and they'll look at it like from a competition perspective, and it'll get weird. It really is like a time thing. Like you really got to see. And this is why like such a powerful prayer that I think is just like asking God, like, God, if like whoever's meant to be a part of on this journey, like with me, like, Lord, may our relationships strengthen, and those who are not meant to be a part of this journey, God, may you remove them from my life. It's a powerful prayer. But I think it's crucial, cause especially when you're locked in, you don't want to waste time, like figuring things out. But it's a patience thing, man. It's a patience thing. And it's a having understanding, like, trying to have the heart position to understand certain scenarios and things too, like for yourself, because like I said, going ghost doesn't mean cutting people off and like never talking to anybody again. It just means, hey, I need to lock in. Like I'm at a point where I just need to get my own stuff together. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It has everything to do with me. I just need to lock in, and either like some people are going to understand or they're not, and either way it's okay, because that your intentions are only to go ghost because you want better for yourself. And so I say this to you, if you're kind of in that position, if you're in that season, lock in. God put something in you that nobody else has. There's something that you have that I don't have, that I have that you don't have, that somebody else has that you don't have. And it goes on and on and on. We're one of one. We are unique creatures. We are seriously, like, there's never been anybody like us. And I will stand by that motto, like, for the rest of my life, like, because it's true, man. And I think in those times of solitude, in those times of going ghost and really locking in on yourself, that's where true healing, that's where true growth like happens. Because if you're constantly surrounded by other energies, right, like you're literally going to either adopt the energies that they have, or certain things are just going to rub off on you in like a specific way. It's just you're not really, like, you're stagnant almost, you know what I mean? Or maybe you're doing this, but it's like, it's a very inconsistent thing. And it's not a thing to like talk down on anybody. It's just more so like, for me, like, I just gotta get my stuff together. I just gotta get my stuff together. And I don't know what this is. Like, I heard this on a podcast, dude, but like, this dude was talking about like how there's midlife crisis. It's like there's like quarter life crisis now, right? Like we live in a time where there's like quarter life crisis, and like people who are in like their mid-20s and stuff, like we kind of think like, okay, we gotta, like everything needs to be like this, but like we gotta figure it out now. Like I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and you know, and it puts you in a weird position, and that's where a lot of like that's where it gets tricky, you know. And so if you are somebody in that, or even your early 20s, and you have this, or even if you're whatever age and you have this, just understand that everybody's path is different. And this is why it's so crucial to just lock in and connect, you know, with God, and lock in on yourself, you know, give yourself that time to go ghost and really figure it out, you know, because you need that time to be in your own thoughts, not be in other people's energies. You can't constantly be feeding into, like, you got to protect your own, because if you're not protecting your own, then you have no identity, bro. You're literally, your identity is everybody else's identity around you. And at least from the way I see it, it's like, I choose not to be like that. I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to be comfy. I'm tired of like struggle. I'm tired of seeing people struggle. The people that I love struggle. I'm tired of, you know, like how everything has been. I want better for myself, and you know, you should want better for yourself too. So if it's that time, you know, you feel called, it doesn't make you a bad person. But go ghost, man. Go ghost and lock in with God, and just lock in on yourself. Do whatever it is that you think will help you on your journey. Find hobbies, do new things, you know, pick up old hobbies, you know, hit the gym, stay active, get outside, read the Bible, read books, just do anything that that opens you up to experiencing something new, because it's in those times like where you're doing those things, like you're building yourself up. You're building yourself up. So, it's ghost season, man. And, yeah, it's time to lock in. But, you know, I pray you have a great rest of your week. I pray that the rest of your month, the rest of your year goes amazing. I pray that whatever it is that has been stressing you out, or making you anxious lately, or whatever the enemy's been planting in your head, I pray it dissipates. I pray that God takes it away, you know. But thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I pray that I see you on the next video. But I love you, and stay gooey.